All right, y'all. I think it's about time that I tell you about the people who got me here because I've been telling you my journey like it's mine and like it is, but like it's not just mine. Like I wouldn't be here on day 20 without these folks. So, first, I want to say that I am blessed and lucky. I have a very good support system between my dad, my sister, my best friends, my partner, like people who've been through with me throughout the years. They have supported me in whatever I do, and like no matter what it is, they're in my corner. Um, so like don't want to overlook that. Um, they are like my foundation. But here's what they can't do for me. They can't help me in the actual endeavors that I'm pursuing. Like they have their own lives, their own interests, their own things that they're building, and they can cheer me on, and they absolutely have and do. But they can't be in the trenches with me, right? Like I have to do that work. Um, And so sometimes it is good to have external resources on top of that foundation. I kind of like to think of other things as like the beams or, like the roof, like just those different components that help with the structure. And basically, I need like people who are in it with me, right? So that's where different accountability groups come in. One of my favorites, we have a great nickname. We call ourselves the Nagging Queens. Shout out to those ladies. Um, because the name is exactly what we set it out to be. Like that's what we do. We nag each other, with the best intentions and everything. We check in with each other. We ask the questions that might, sometimes you don't want to answer. Um, we're asking each other, did you, um, make some art? Did you post? Did you do the thing that you said you were going to do? And, we don't ask each other if we're ready. We kind of got together into that program in that cohort to or like that accountability group because in some ways we already were ready. We were at least tired of not doing the thing. So we were kind of already at that step. We'd already done that work, so we were here together. So now it's, did you do it? Did you say you do what you said you were going to do? And we create our own goals each week, and we put them in our chat so that we have documentation that we of what we said we were going to do. um and so yesterday I talked about the trap, right? My trap of calling, learning, action, and the trap of staying in the planning stage so long that like you don't have energy left for the doing. Um, and so like I had mentioned about some of the cohorts that I'm in, the visibility cohort, the art cohort, and how those have been good because of the action that I took beyond them. But here's what I didn't talk about yesterday. The reason I took action beyond them is because of the people in those groups. The people who held me to it, the people who, continue to cheer me on to show up. And because if left up my own devices, I'd be in another course that didn't have anything didn't have any accountability. I'd be doing more research, more planning, and just trying to get that much more ready. Um, yeah. So the people and the accountability groups are good for me in that um, because they stop me from doing those things, right? The groups have been those checks, the checks and balances. The group is what's been helping me turn the planning into doing. Of course, I gotta mention Coach Renee. Yes, we share a name, but she has also helped us. Incrementally, she's had frameworks and helpful checklists and things that have been really helpful, so that we're not stuck in the planning stage. Like, just use, rinse, repeat, and don't reinvent the circle, the wheel. Just take this and fill in the blanks as needed to make it work for you. Path of least resistance. Yeah, that's what we're going for. And it's been good because it's been a way to show up, every day, without standing in front of the blank page, or you know whether that's a screen page or a sketchbook or whatever, like having the space to just go, um, and having that bit of structure to, like, you know I've always said, it's funny, me and my friends, we've all been like creative and in something creative since we were kids, or like high school. And we've all, people, I think our generation was all about the critical thinking and thinking outside the box. Like, that was a lot of verbiage that we were told. And me and a Peace Corps friend of mine, actually, um, had talked about, we need the box to be able to think out of, right? You need at least a small container, something, parameters, structure, framework, whatever you want to call it, in order to think outside the box, right? Um, and so I think that's kind of like what Coach has been helping us with, is just giving us that small piece, um, that small platform to just be like, all right, and then shoot off from there. Um, and for me at least, and I think this has been important, as we've talked about, the permission and the influences and everything like that before. The the thing about accountability is, it only works if you choose it, right? No one's forcing me to be part of these accountability groups. No one's forced me to be part of the cohort. No one's forced me to do this 30-day challenge. Now, Coach Renee definitely has given me some pushes in the right direction, but no one has forced me to do any of these things. And that's why, even before this, right, before I decided to take action, no one also forced me to, um, not have permission to try to live up to other people's expectations. Like, those were things that I mentioned in other videos, that, like, I take the responsibility that I kept myself in those spaces for so long, right? The initiating might have been external perhaps, but I stayed in it so long, that was on me. So, same thing here with these accountability groups and these cohorts. um, I'm choosing to be around people who are, you know, pushing me to show up. I'm choosing to be around people who aren't letting me just wait and plan beyond measure without doing. But now, here's my small little caveat. I want to say to anybody who's watching this video and thinking about starting something, thinking about showing up, thinking about, you know, the thing that you've been planning and learning and preparing to do. Some people are good at doing it alone, right? Some people are good at, um, they just need to do the thing on their own without any influences, without any help, without any community. Um, and if that's you, that's perfectly valid. That's your thing. Um, and that's awesome if that's your thing. I am not one of those people. And I had to learn that about myself, that I need the community, I need the accountability to keep me from falling back into the traps, whether it's the learning trap, the planning trap, the parent trap. Anyway, sorry, that was a, um, what do they call it? Wow, my brain is having a fart right now. Intrusive thought, that one. Uh, but me acknowledging that I need community and accountability, it's not a weakness. To me, it's a sign of strength because I'm at least able to acknowledge where I need help and my vulnerabilities. And I'm able to say that this is where I struggle and I need the people around me to help me through it. I need someone to ask, did you do it? Not, are you ready? Not, have you learned enough? Have you got the right certificates? Whatever, whatever. You know, do you have the system figured out? The question I needed was, did you do it? And again, I have to give my past self grace. I didn't maybe realize that that's what I needed back then. But now that I know, shooting for the stars, baby. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't be here without my family, my friends, and my partner, my foundation, the people who are in my corner no matter what. But I also wouldn't be here without my nagging queens and my coach, and without the people who ask me, "Did I do it?" and not, "Are you ready?" Um, and I think the other piece of this too is like this 30-day challenge. It was never meant to be a solo endeavor, right? Um, it it's not my solo mission, right? It never was meant to be that. Um, so question: do you know what you need when it comes to taking action? Because maybe you need people and community, maybe you need to do it alone, but you need to know which one you are. And maybe they're the third, fourth, fifth option. That's fine too. Um, and if you do need those people, what are you doing to try to find them if you don't already have them? And if you do already have them, say thank you. Say thank you.